Hello, in the new video. Today we're gonna take a look at the double quill team here. We have the Hisuian Qwilfish and we have the Overqwil in one team, as we have the Hisuian Qwilfish here as a say swap and the Overqwil as the Pokemon in the back. It doesn't matter what you use as a say swap, it's basically the same Pokemon. The Qwilfish, actually, the Hisuian version, is pretty highly ranked at PvPoke. I think it's like rank 35 or something, which is pretty high, so I kind of want to try this thing out. The Overqwil is a little bit lower ranked because it's a little bit more squishy, I guess, but it's also pretty high, I think like 58 or something, I'm not 100% sure anymore. Out of my head, as we see a very horrible lead, a very horrible say swap, but we can basically bounce back here, going for 2 Ice Punches, getting a shield from my opponent here already, and going into our Overqwil, trying to farm down this Trevenant here, as we can shield up this Shadow Ball. Even though I know it's resisted, it would do a lot of damage, as we see an Empoleon coming in here. We can go for the Shadow Ball, and we boom the opponent here pretty easily with one Shadow Ball, getting him into range where the Aqua Tail already does some nice damage. So we're gonna go ahead, go for one Aqua Tail here, and my opponent actually decides to just let this move go through, which is really nice for us because Overqwil does some insane damage with our fast moves, and we win the game here. I think we would have lost if he just decided to shield there, so I'm not sure why he didn't, but good game there. As we see Venusaur coming in. I don't know, maybe I should have stayed in a little bit, go for one Ice Punch and then swap out. I think that would have been the smarter play. But we're gonna be able to survive at least one move here from the Venusaur, as we can go for some more Shadow Balls here with our Overqwil. It doesn't really matter again in which Pokemon you're gonna go here. But we're definitely gonna be able to realign our Pokemon, which is the main reason why you go into this thing. Like, it's fine, we can realign later on, as we had a pretty decent lead there. And we can just go ahead and farm this thing all the way down. We see the Warren coming back in, and we can go for a big Shadow Ball again, and boom, putting him at half health. We can go back into our Medicham, and we see a Sableye coming in, which basically already seals the deal there. There's nothing we can do here anymore. One return gonna be enough to KO our little Qwilfish here, and of course the Sableye gonna be very good against the Medicham as well. But honestly, I went one time 5-0 with this team, and I went 5-0 with all the 4 teams once at least that I played in the first 2 days, which is kind of insane. The next 2 teams that you're gonna see as well, I also had 2 times like a 5-0 in general. Kinda crazy. I tanked down on purpose before to like 2800 again. Now I'm back at 3100, which is really cool after just 2 days of playing the new meta that came out here. So very nice. While we lose this game, there are a lot more that we're gonna win here, as we see an Altaria in the lead, which is kinda horrible for us, but we can go ahead, go for one Ice Punch and then swap out into our Qwilfish. They never shield the Ice Punch here in the beginning, which does some massive damage, actually putting him at half health already. We can go down to our Qwilfish here, and we can do some nice damage with the Poison Jab already, as we see Deoxys defense coming in. I think they know that we have like at least a dark type move, so we're gonna go ahead, go for the bait, and they did not shield here for whatever reason. But I also don't have to shield here either, as this Rock Slide, for whatever reason they ran Rock Slide, doesn't really do that much damage, as we can go for one Shadow Ball and go for the big boom by Deoxys. We can realign our Pokemon, as we see my opponent going into the Altaria again. We can go ahead, go into our Overqwil and farming this thing all the way down. We're gonna go and shield this up, I think, as well. No, we're gonna let this move go through, so I'm still gonna keep the shield for my Medicham in the bag. And here it's gonna come down to baiting, to, in general, how much it's gonna do. I'm not sure how much a Friendly Plant does here. It did way more than I thought, to be honest. I didn't expect it to do that much damage from a Serperior. Serperior is pretty bulky. So they're gonna go ahead and they can actually farm me all the way down. And of course, at this point of time, this game was over, as well as they have the Leaf Tornado now. And of course, they're gonna get the debuff, which doesn't really matter too much, but of course, they're gonna get the debuff, as they're gonna go for another Leaf Tornado, winning them the game there. Good game to my opponent. Next up, we're gonna see Medicham against Lickitung. Pretty nice lead here. Lickitung, the quick move here doesn't really do that much damage against the 2 Pokemon that I have in the back, because of course they are both poison and dark typing, which means that we resist the lick damage. But I'm just gonna go ahead, go straight for one Psychic, and now swap out into my Qwilfish, trying to bait out a potential answer for, like, in general, like the Overqwil later on. I got a lot of times the Galarian Stunfisk all of the way with the swap in into the Qwilfish, but also sometimes the Medicham came in, which is a little bit more awkward, especially if they have Power Punch, which every Medicham had that I faced for whatever reason, as they're gonna get a lot of energy from this and get some nice damage from this as well, as we at least get both of their shields, which is cool. And we go into our Overqwil, they're gonna go ahead and go for another move. It's gonna be another Power Punch, so I'm gonna let this move go through. But the next one I have to shield because they're already like 3 times buffed now, that it still hurts a lot to get like damage from this thing. But we can go ahead, go for one Aqua Tail and farm this thing all the way down now, but we are basically close to red health. They go into their Licky Tongue, and yeah, like it's looking a little bit tough. They seem to be a little bit weak to me in the back. I'm gonna go into my Medicham now, and it's there a Ninetales here, and this Ninetales gonna definitely win a game here, which is kind of awkward. Seeing, yeah, another loss here. Like, where are the wins? Where are the wins? There are gonna be some more wins now coming. This was actually the first match that I played against, like, the first match I play in the Great League here against an Archon, and I was like, what? Why do you face an Archon? What is wrong here? But they're actually gonna go for the Crunch, which I didn't, like, I don't know the moveset really. But I remembered it again when I saw it because it's Dragon Claw here, like I knew it had Dragon Claw and I remembered there, but it is fine as we can still win the lead, but they cannot have something that's good for me, like in the back, like I need to have something that I really can deal with. As they go into another Medicham, as they're gonna go ahead and go for a Power Punch here, we're gonna go ahead and go for the bait again, which I think is the right play. I hope it's the right play. They are going to shield this, which is nice, and I'm also gonna go to shield this. No, I'm gonna let this move go through. I can still get to one Aqua Tail. I wouldn't have got to a Shadow Ball anyway, so I guess it was a right call here. I can now go into my own Overqwil, and we have to see if we can still do something here. I think I kind of have to shield this and farm him all the way down, to be honest. There's not a lot that I can do otherwise, and I have to see that there's something weak in the back. It's a Jellicent. Can we actually still win this game here? We see the Overqwil going for some more moves, and we're gonna catch the move here on our Medicham. It's gonna be the Bubble Beam. Fine for me. They're gonna farm him down, and we can go ahead, go for one Shadow Ball and win the game here with the Overqwil. Very good game there to my opponent. What a catch onto the Overqwil. Next up, we're gonna see most likely some more wins, as we see the Sableye. It seems like all the losses came in the beginning. As we see a Sableye lead, which is kind of horrible for us, as we see the Stunfisk coming in here, which is also kind of horrible for us, so we kind of get hard countered. But, yeah, we can go for some Aqua Tails here at least, and if they don't go for the Earthquake here, I get to another move that definitely should KO them, like it's good scenario for me, and they go for the Rock Slide, so maybe I can get to the Aqua Tail. I can get to the Aqua Tail. Do they shield this up here already? They do shield this up. And now we have a shield advantage, which is at least pretty okay. And we can get some nice energy advantage here as they go for the Earthquake. It's fine for me. They go into the Azumarill, which is even better for me. And the Overqwil here is looking pretty decent, as we can go ahead and farm this thing all the way down here to like half health. We can go for one Shadow Ball now. And the Shadow Ball, I'm gonna put him into range where I could KO him, but they're actually gonna shield this up. I get another fast move through, and I see my opponent's Azumarill is pretty low already. I can just farm them all the way down, and I have so much energy now, and I make such a stupid mistake by going for the Shadow Ball blindly there, expecting them to throw into the other one, and now I don't have enough energy for the Sableye of my opponent, and now we're in a bad spot again. But it is fine for us still, because they still have to throw a move here. And if they throw a move, they still need, I think, 2 moves to get to another return. A normal foul play doesn't KO us, they only get 1 move in, and we win CMP against them, winning us the game here as well with the Overqwil sweep, KOing all the Pokemon, I think, on the opponent's team, which is kinda insane. So Overqwil definitely putting in some work here, as we see a Dustox in the lead here. What's going on again? As Dustox is a pretty good answer to this team though, as it has Confusion, which I mean is resisted on those Pokemon here. It's single resisted on the Qwilfish, but also like it's a very bulky Pokemon with Bug Buzz. Bug Buzz does a lot of damage here. So I'm gonna go ahead, shield this up, as we see a Barbaracle coming in, resisting I think the Poison typing, if I'm not wrong. I think like the Poison Fangs are resisted, but I'm not sure actually, like maybe they are not. Like Rock typing is like the one typing that I really cannot know, really, I don't know. It's a little bit weird. As we go for some more Aqua Tails, getting the shield there from my opponent is very nice. We can't get to another one, but it's fine, as we have our Medicham, which now we're gonna take Grass Knot for whatever reason. I thought it had like Stone Edge and a Cross Chop, but not Grass Knot. But I'm gonna let the next move go through as well, which gonna be the Cross Chop now, which is fine for us as they're gonna go ahead, go back into the Dustox. We swap into our Overqwil as they have a Samurott here. I'm just gonna bait this Samurott. I would have got to a Shadow Ball there, and I should have thrown the Shadow Ball, I guess, because my opponent just decides to don't do anything here. And as they're gonna survive another move here, they're just gonna let this move go through. And they are at 2 Hydrocans already right now. And this is really tricky as, yeah, you're gonna see here, Hydrocan comes through, rear gate KO, they have 2 shields left, and the Dustox has already some energy there. Can we get to 2 Ice Punches in time? That's the question here. We can get to 1 and we can get to another one, winning us the game here again. Very well played, very cool team by my opponent, such a creative one. Kinda got hard-walled, but still won this game, so a good game to my opponent. As we see an Articuno in the lead, one of the hardest walls to the Medicham in the lead as well, which is kinda awkward. As we see a Galarian Stunfisk, and we're gonna go ahead and not throw any charge moves here anymore. I'm not throwing an Aqua Tail. They can go for the Earthquake if they want to. Please go for the Earthquake. If they go for the Rock Slide, fine. They go for another Rock Slide, which is even better than just going for one Earthquake, as this allows us now to go into the Medicham and farm this thing all the way down. And I just want the Ice Punch damage on the Articuno. I need some damage on the Articuno, so Ice Punch helps me a lot in this kind of matchup. As we get so much energy now, we can just punish the incoming Articuno again, going for some Ice Punches and going for another one, putting it into a range where they have to shield already, and they're gonna go ahead and do this, and I can swap into my Overqwil. Let's see what they're gonna put into. Like, they're going for a charge move here. It could be anything. It's the Ancient Power. They don't get the boost, and we see a Warring coming in. And I'm just gonna go ahead, go for the Shadow Ball here, getting a shield from my opponent, and I can just let everything go through. I'm just gonna let this move go through. I'm fine with this. It's gonna be the Icicle Spear. And I can go for another Awkward Tail, putting them into a range where I can farm them down with the counter alone. And we have to get to another Ice Punch against the Articuno in time. We also have to survive, like we have to get to another move here in general, as we see that we just barely get there before they can get to a Brave Bird, I guess. And we win the game there. Good game to my opponent. Kind of got hard-walled again, but energy management is key, with especially with the Medicham here. Ice Punch damage against a flying type is always cool, as we see the Deoxys is going ahead, going straight for a move here, which is going to be the Psycho Boost for whatever reason. I mean, it's Stinger resisted, I guess it's fine. And we just go ahead and go for the Aqua Tail, which was a mistake, as they don't even shield this move here. And I'm going to try to overfarm a little bit, go for the Aqua Tail now. Do they shield at least this one around? They do not. Why do I not just go once for the Shadow Ball? Why do I always bait? I'm not sure about this. But now my opponent can still even get to another move, and it looks pretty horrible here. As they go for a Hydrocan, I'm gonna shield this up because it does more than like a Psycho Boost from Medicham. And they go into Skarmory, and I just blind swap because I expected the Deoxys defense. Yeah, like, it is fine. You sometimes lose games like this, as we see a Torterra coming in. And that's kind of awkward as well, as Torterra is kind of awkward with the ground typing, to be honest. If it was just pure grass, we would have been way better off with just going for some nice poison jabs there, as we have to shield and move up now. Otherwise we couldn't have farmed them down there, which is fine for us now. But we can go ahead and go for some Awkward Tails against this Bastion, but I'm pretty sure they're gonna have another Razor Leaf in the back. Very likely it's gonna be the Victory Bell, as it's always gonna be the Victory Bell. And we can go for 3 Awkward Tails with our Qwilfish here, putting this Bastion already below half health, which is nice, and we see the Victory Bell coming in. But the Poison Jab of the Overqwil is doing some massive damage, as you can see here, and we can farm them down before they can farm me down. We go ahead, shield this move up, it's gonna be a Leaf Blade, and we can just farm them all the way down. Going for another Awkward Tail now against this Bastion, but no, they decide to surrender already. And we see like so many wins now in the beginning. It was like kinda, I don't know. It's weird that we have all the losses in the beginning, and now like we see all the wins here, which is really cool. But we see an Amber version of the Ninetales, as we see Warring coming in here. Very interesting team there by my opponent already. I mean, the Ninetales really got some more track recently, as we go ahead and farm down this Warring. We don't go for another charge move. They go ahead, go for an Icicle Spear. We have to shield the next one, I think, already. Yeah, we kind of want to shield this one. As they go ahead, go for another one, it's just so much damage they can get through with the Icicle Spear. As we see the 9 hits coming in, we can let one move go through here. We still survive this one. It's less damage than the other one, I think, than the Icicle Spear, but I'm not actually 100% sure about this. As we see a Tapu Fini in the back, and you know our Overqwil has a lot of fun with Tapu Finis. We can go ahead, go for an Awkward Tail here, and we will be able to win this game pretty easily here, as they're going to go ahead, shield this one up. We can go for another Awkward Tail, putting them into range where we can farm them down and win the game pretty easily. That's gonna be it for the video. A double Overqwil definitely worked out way better than expected. Had a nice 5-0 with this, had some losses as well, but yeah, it worked out really well. Thanks for watching, see you next video, have a great rest of your day, and bye!